for him is the fact that he interacts with the people personally. So it's some of the, information or some of the things that he wants to put across, he adopts that kind of interactive system. So for instance, you can just walk to a polling station executive or any delegate and ask you, are you happy? Is there something that you think I can do if you give me the nod that can change the narrative? And that is also working for him. So that kind of personal interaction, I think, is working for him. But in terms of reception, maybe what I'm not a luminary in terms of political analysis, but from far off, I can say that Alan appears to be enjoying a very massive support in the Ashanti region.
So different strategies then, I'm sure they're getting varied levels of benefits. But Evans, before you take leave of us, you mentioned that Alan Kyerematen is part of is visiting another constituency. You have an idea what message you'll be preaching today and the subsequent days as part of a 6-day regional tour of the Ashanti region?
Well, so he's been talking about party unity. He's been talking about his vision of rewarding a polling station or all executive in all ranks as far as the party is concerned, beyond the great transformation plan that he has espoused, and of course has also talked extensively as far as his engagement is concerned. But I also must also say that Alan Kyerematen appears to be also using some, driving the delegate back to memory lane. For instance, in the 2000 election, which of course saw the MPP annex power for the first time under the current democratic dispensation, one particular song that the then candidate Kofo adopted that partially helped the MPP to win power was, Mogbo Fweja, I forgot his Cindy Thompson song. And it is something that Alan Kyerematen is using. And you could see that level of, that song exuding emotions. And intermittently, I hear some of the delegates saying that the man has suffered enough and he needs to be given a chance.
Evans, thank you so much. We'll get back to you for more updates on the political campaigns in the Ashanti region there. Now, the new wave of young and energetic persons seeking positions in Parliament may have brought some fresh perspectives ahead of the 2024 elections. Amid the massive campaigns, flyers and billboards, presidential staffers and even notable government officials are not leaving anything to chance.
Ghana's political landscape is attracting young individuals from diverse backgrounds, potentially impacting the country's parliamentary democracy. At the Ablekuma Central constituency in the Greater Accra region, the Deputy Director of Communications at the Jubilee House, Jefferson Saki, has already filed his nomination and seeks to win the seat for the New Patriotic Party.
Unfortunately, in the last election, we lost it to the NDC, so it's been turned green. It is my hope that when the good people of Ablekuma Central constituency, especially our polling station executives, elect me as the parliamentary candidate, I will be in a better position to turn this constituency from green to blue.
Touted as the new face and the new energy, some constituents believe the presidential staffer has what it takes to turn things around for a constituency which is currently occupied by NDC's Dan Abdul Latif.
I have sent my message across to the various polling station executives that if God willing, they are able to put me, onto the ballot paper of 2024. I'm very confident and I'm in a very good position to reclaim the seat back. Jefferson Saki, as a candidate for the New Patriotic Party, is winning the Ablekuma Central constituency seat. 100% sure about that.
But the contest may not be easy for him as it may seem. In his own backyard, a former member of parliament, Ebenezer Nate, and one Collins Amoah have also declared their intent to contest. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Ablekuma Central, Accra.
Moving away from the political space, colleges of education teachers remain on strike despite a directive from the National Labour Commission to call it off. My colleague Grace Samwajiman was at the Accra College of Education, where students are appealing to government to meet their demands of the striking teachers as exams are just a few days away.
Some Some few minutes past midday here at the Accra College of Education. Ordinarily, students would have had their first 2 lessons of the day, but that is not the case because of the CTAC strike. Some of the students have resorted to playing football. Others are also doing their individual studies. What is more worrying is the fact that third-year students are a week away from writing their examination, and they tell me if the situation is not resolved, the impact could be dire on their academic calendar.
This week should have been the revision week, and so we're supposed to be going through various tutorials and then wrapping up the courses and then sit for the exam next week. But then, for now, we don't have our timetables out. We don't know when the lecturers are coming back. And so it's a big challenge. It's a very big challenge, I must confess.
Most of us here have to mobilize ourselves to engage in mini study groups or as lecture group. And as it stands now, most of our mates have gone home because lectures are not going. And currently, it's quite worrisome because we've not completed a larger part of our course outlining.
We are writing examination next week and they're on strike. They've not even released the timetable yet. And when they went on strike, we were not able to complete the topics for the courses. So it has really affected us.
Well, for the first years who were looking forward to brisk academic activity, they rather use the time to rehearse for their upcoming Akwaaba week or any other activity.
Actually, we just resumed and we were expecting the teachers to be coming to class to teach us. But unfortunately, they've stopped coming. And we have a lot of things to catch up to. So we are really suffering. We need a lot of explanation from our teachers and we are not finding them.
So this is our first time. So it's like it's been a challenge to us. When we just came last 2 weeks before the strike started, so like the stuff, in terms of monetary aspects, like the stuff we have to buy and everything, is like we buy the booklet and now we are not using it profitably like that.
SRC President of the college, Richmond Ajayi, says government and the teachers should come to an understanding to resolve the impasse.
It is evident that the government has to respond to the request of our lecturer, because looking at their grievances, I think it is due them. And so I want to request that the government should please consider their grievances and respond to them appropriately.
The College of Education Teachers Association of Ghana have been striking since August 1, despite a directive by the National Labour Commission for them to return to the classrooms. The concern here among students is a resolution of the impasse so the academic calendar and activities can continue. Grace Hamwa Ajiman, TV3 News, Accra College of Education.
Let's take you to the Ashanti region now, where the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has impounded over 30 tricycles for non-compliance with a ban to operate within the Central Business District, even though yesterday's arrest resulted in a clash between the police and the tricycle operators for the third time. City authorities say they remain resolute to enforce the ban. Ibrahim Abubakar joins us from Adum to find out what the current level of compliance is. Ibrahim, thank you so much for joining us. You've been to Adum today, this afternoon. What is the situation there like?
Well, Crosby, I think the compliance level is gradually shooting up because we have the police that have been stationed at vantage points to return tricycle operators who make their way into the Central Business District. And yesterday, 46 of them, of the tricycle, were impounded. The riders mobilized themselves, came here forcefully wanting to take their tricycle. That resulted in the clash between the police and the riders. They were able to take 43 of them are still in the custody of KMA. And this morning, I've also seen the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly also impounding some of the tricycles. So this is currently how the frontage of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly looks like. You can see a number of police personnel stationed here, also some of the leadership of the tricycle operators, and even the tricycle operators themselves. So when they get here, because already they've been cautioned not to come here, the KMA will have to impound the tricycle together with the police and bring it here. So just about 2-3 minutes ago, I've seen not less than 10 of the tricycles that have been brought here. But they are saying the leadership is trying to judge with the police and tell them that they rather want them to return the tricycle operators to wherever they have to operate instead of arresting them, because the more they arrest them, it will get to a time that some of the riders will still mobilize themselves and come here, and that will bring about the chaos. And now the police is trying to understand what the leadership is saying, so they have moved some of their men at the far end to make sure that they wouldn't allow any tricycle operator to use this stretch.
Right. So, Ibrahim, with the vehicles that they have been able to impound as of now, what happens to those? At what point are they giving them back to the tricycle operators?
So, for now, KMA is saying that they are waiting for the, this exercise is being conducted by the transport unit of KMA. For now, they are waiting on what the mayor or the coordinating director will say before they look at the way forward. Yesterday, 12 of the ride.
Unfortunately, I'm sure we have lost Ibrahim Abubakar from the Ashanti region. Bring us updates on the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly impounding some tricycle operators over a directive for not to let them operate within the central business district of the Ashanti region. We have Ibrahim back on the line. Ibrahim, you were making a point about when or where the indications are for the tricycles to be given back to the operators.
So, like I was saying yesterday, 12 of the protesters were arrested. Out of the 12, we were told that 5 of them are not even riders. So, what the KMA has done is to hand them over to the police, and they are telling the police to make sure that they process them to the court. For now, the leadership is still trying to engage KMA and see the way forward, whether the tricycle will be released to the riders or they will have to be penalized, because according to KMA, it has done a lot of education on this issue. So if you decide to flout the rule and still come within the CBD and you are arrested, the law will take its course.
Briefly, Ibrahim, before you take leave of us, for people who employ the services of these tricycle operators within the central business district, I'm sure they must be adapting by now.
It's still a mixed reaction. You find some of them saying, well, since it is what the city authorities think will sanitize the central business district, then we have to go by it. But for others too, they still see tricycle operation as the easiest and affordable means of transport. So you realize that even the ones that are being impounded today, they will arrest one and you will see a patron in it together with his or her items, a lot of items that they bought, either taking it into the CBD or even coming out from the CBD. So they are expecting the KMA to at least do what it wants, it will do best for the city, but also make sure that at least if even hundreds of them will be issued tickets so that they also have access to the central business district for transport means to be accessible and affordable for those who cannot afford taxis and also trotros.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim Abubakar, for joining us from the Ashanti region there. Now, the Health Services Workers Union is resisting against moves by the Ghana Health Service to post former CEO of the Komfo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Oheneba Danso, to the Kumasi South Hospital. A letter signed by the Director General of the Ghana Health Services and addressed to the Ashanti Regional Health Directorate stated that Dr. Oheneba Danso has been re-engaged for a 2-year post-service contract from July 2023 to June 2025 as a consultant plastic reconstructive and hand surgeon at the regional hospital. But the Health Services Workers Union is questioning the decision to post him at the facility, saying the hospital does not need his services.
Ready for him because he's a plastic surgeon. What is he coming to do here? You understand? Wherever you are going, there are people who are capable of handling issues here. And in Kumasi South Hospital, we have musculofacial people here. They are capable of handling issues. And then we are not saying that we are preventing the government of increasing us or adding up to us. But this man, for God's sake, is even 65 years. And they bringing him here. What is he coming to do? That is the question I'm asking. What is he coming to do? If he's coming to help us here, yes, we are okay. We are okay with him coming to help us here. But what he's coming to do here, we don't have it here. With a lot of due respect to him, I acknowledge him for what he has done and where he has gone to and the things that he's able to do. But what I'm saying is that where he's coming to, we are not complaining. We are saying that the arena or the space at which he carries, we don't have it here. We have musculofacial people, when they come with difficult cuts and they come here, we are able to service them, we're able to give them ample treatment. We are not saying he's not experienced enough. But what we are saying is this: what he's carrying on board today or tomorrow or the next day, what he's bringing on board, we don't have it here. And what we have here, people are capable of handling the same things that he is capable of doing.
Now, Ghana risks losing $30 million from the Global Fund as a result of government's failure to commit to its counterpart funding in the fight against tuberculosis. Ghana's legislative representative to the United Nations, Dr. Mark Ket Nawani, is urging a high-level government delegation to attend the September UN high-level meeting on the fight against tuberculosis to curtail the threat.
The global funding, which assists them, is threatening to withdraw because they are not able to pay their counterpart funding. And it is very, very serious. When they say counterpart funding, it means that the government has to spend a certain amount on TB, and then the global funding will add. And not any some amount that has to be given to global funding. No, global funding will only add to what the government spends on TB, and most African countries are not able to do that. Indeed, Ghana has been threatened on this issue, and we are at risk of losing about $30 million from donor funds. That's from the global funding that we get to assist our fight against infectious disease. And so we should not take it for granted. We should not take it for granted. What is happening is that in 2022, there was about 10.6 million infections. And out of it, a quarter of it came from Africa. So Africa is carrying 25% of the burden of global TB. And about 1.6 million deaths. And Africa had about 500,000 deaths from TB. And that one too, it means that we are carrying almost 25% of the global deaths from TB. And this means that we have to really speak with one voice at the global level. And we're supposed to prepare for the global meeting that is supposed to take place in 2023 in New York once again. That is the United Nations meeting. There's a session for TB, which has been secured. And we're supposed to advocate for our leaders.
Away from that subject, a circuit court in Wa has remanded 35-year-old local master of ceremonies accused of defiling 12 children into police custody to reappear on Monday, August 14. The accused, Rashid Ahmed, also known as Anata, is facing 7 counts of defilement contrary to Section 1012 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29.
The accused person's plea was not taken. The prosecution claims that because the police investigation is still ongoing, Rashid Ahmed, also known as Anata, was brought up to ask for remand. Rashid Ahmed was detained on Friday, August 4, as a result of police inquiries into various defilement instances that were allegedly connected to him. In a viral video posted in May this year, 3 schoolgirls aged between 10 and 13 years accused the suspect, who is a popular wedding decorator and designer, of defilement after inviting them to his house in Wa. Some of the girls alleged that Rashid Ahmed lured them to his room with the promise of giving them money, biscuits, toffees and food. A formal complaint was made at the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit of the Ghana Police Service on behalf of the 3 defiled schoolgirls. Medical examination at the Wa Municipal Hospital showed positive signs of vaginal penetration.
Because there are still some few loose ends that we need to tie, police will continue with the investigation. But because of the interest generated, we intend to do a daily trial of this matter. We have already prayed to the court to let us do a daily trial of this matter beginning Monday. So we should have served him with all the necessary documents by Wednesday so that we can start the trial on Monday. And thankfully, if we get a daily trial, we might end this case in just 2 weeks.
We're following up on this story in the subsequent bulletins, but in the meantime, the price of onion is on the upwards trajectory. That's according to traders of the commodity. The impact of the political instability within the West African sub-region begins taking a biting effect. Over 50 trucks loaded with onions are stuck along the borders of Niger and Burkina Faso in the wake of a alleged attack of Niger following the lapse of the ECOWAS deadline to restore ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. Now, Ghana imports about $50 million worth of onions, with the bulk coming from Niger. According to traders at Ajin Kutuku, government must urgently intervene to enable the more than 70 truckloads of onions into the country. Ayana Haliga was at the onion market at Ajin Kutuku and reports.
This is Ajin Kutuku, the heartbeat of onions for Ghana. And as Ghanaians with exceptional culinary skills, onions are an essential part in the preparations of meals as the edge to douse a burning flame of hunger in one's belly. But all that could be in jeopardy soon. That's because for all the onions you see here, a bulk of them come from the cool-troubled Niger. With the political instability there, large trucks carting the essential ingredients have been left along the borders of Niger. This, according to experts, could have a rippling effect on food inflation in the country. While after engaging with some market women and members of the Onion Importers Association, they are of the view that prices will increase due to they fear there might be a rise in food poisoning as some market women have purchased some spoiled onions due to high prices in the market currently. Well, as of yesterday, the border between Niger and Benin was open for some trucks, but information reaching indicates that the border has been closed currently. For TV3 News, Ayana Haliga.
You're watching Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and we're going for a break. We're back with more stories. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period no say problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me mogam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra me nu foforo kwa na me kwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nuru a ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you of Acrobato. Hello hey ohwehwe what che okay a free bra wo di end point what dance am me call you no me Jones sema na enkoyie empeso na maye mre nyina na magina sebema na me be fie for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
10 valiant men, all poised to battle for their bragging right.
Old wine say improves as time goes on. The stars have aligned for us in this moment. Our time is now. We did not come to first time shows. We came with our own. Fresh power, phenomenal strength, new and never seen before.
Who takes the title? Ghana's Strongest, the power to do.
Catch the new season of Ghana's Strongest Sunday at 4 p.m. only on TV3. Ghana's Strongest is powered by Gasem, the nation builder. Brought to you by Mixi Choco, Channel Hot,
Deluxy Acrylic Paint,
Drugnet.
Hey! What do you do with some cool $2,000? Okay. Here to Win game show is exactly what you need. The only game show where you are already rich before you begin to pay. Every week, 2 lucky people stand the chance of winning money. All you have to do is go through some quizzes and fun games. Somebody from Peru is called Perusian. Whatever you say, you have to be proud because your family people are watching you. Somebody from Madagascar is called Malagasy. Correct!
Okay, let's go.
It's you that will tell me let's go. You are not even winning.
Okay. Hold and stand and jump fasting.
Amazing.
Jump go.
Ayikwe Ama. Be proud. Okay. First of all, are you supposed to be a man or a woman? Put it on your forehead. Be a part of this game show right here on TV3 and take home some cash. Come join us on Here to Win game show where you win it all. Hey, ya mama! Hey, mama! Hey, ya mama! Hey, mama! Here to Win!
Here to Win, premiering on Saturday, 12 August at 8 p.m. on TV3.
The age-old rivalry that senior high schools engage in is still present within alumni. The battle for bragging rights to a particular endeavor remains even after school. If your school can cook, it means your school is here. If your school can boast of good culinary masterminds, this right here is the perfect platform to showcase that skill set. Alumni have met and they have chosen representatives to take up the task of preparing extraordinary dishes to bring victory to their respective schools.
Tell me what you're cooking.
Week in, week out, these schools will mount these workstations in a bid to buy your nutritional affinity to them. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare your taste buds and fasten your aprons. These culinary experts are set to battle for the enviable crown of being tagged Lords of the Kitchen. This is Kitchen Wars Season 2.
Kitchen Wars Season 2, Sundays at 5 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
Sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix.
And Napa Foods. Say Napa. Enye ono soko.
PGL.
Welcome back to the broadcast. It's now time for the latest in business. Manu Afol is joining us with all of that. Manu, good to see you. So, the March talked about gaming taxes in the next few days being implemented. What do we know about that?
Well, it's beginning on August 15. I'm talking about the implementation. The Ghana Revenue Authority is going to start the collection. We have the details coming up.
Over to you.
Thank you so much. Welcome again to the business segment. In our first story, Ghana Revenue Authority has set August 15 to begin implementation of the 10% withholding tax on lottery winnings. Commissioner in charge of Domestic Tax Division, Edward Apinting Jamra, said the gaming tax is expected to rake in about 1.2 billion cedis at the initial stages of implementation.
For this, we expect each and every one to comply. Those in the sport betting, those that are private lotto operators, those in casino operators, routers operators, remote interactive game operators, operators of marketing promotion, operators of other games of chance. If anyone wins, come 15th of August, we expect that when you are making the payment, you would hold 10% and pay same to the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Addressing the media ahead of its implementation, Commissioner in charge of Domestic Tax Division said this forms part of the Income Tax Amendment Act in the 2023 budget. He warned lotto and gaming operators who fail to comply will be penalized.
The obligation is on you to withhold. And if you fail to do that, you can be assured that your license will be withdrawn. We are expecting over 1.2 billion cedis. That is the expected revenue from it. This is the initial stage of this policy. And going forward, the expected revenue is very high. And I'm sure after the first year, we will see the full potential, which is in a range of 3 billion.
Government in the 2023 budget reintroduced a 10% tax on lottery winnings and 20% corporate tax on operators in the industry.
In more stories, government has announced an extension of the deadline for the exchange of domestic dollar bonds to August 18 this year. Initially slated to conclude on August 4, the extension offers bondholders additional time to participate in the exchange initiative. The following 3 Business Desk reports has more.
Government's decision comes as part of its efforts to facilitate the exchange of approximately $809 million worth of domestic dollar bonds. The extension is expected to provide bondholders with a more flexible timeline to consider their options and make informed decisions regarding their bond holdings. According to a statement issued by the Ministry of Finance, the announcement of the final details regarding the exchange is anticipated to take place on or around August 21 this year. Additionally, the settlement date for the exchanged bonds is targeted for August 25 or as soon as practically feasible. In light of the extended timeline, the statement emphasized that adjustments will be made to the issue date, interest accrual schedules, payment schedules, and amortization schedules for the new bonds. The statement added that these adjustments are intended to accurately align with the revised settlement date and ensure the smooth transition of the exchange process.
And now it's time for the movers and shakers in the world of business and academia to come together and deliberate on the way forward for our country. In the 3 Business TV Thought Leadership Lecture Series, now under the theme, Ghana's Claim of Economic Self-Governance and Independence, a Myth, Reality, or the Need for Paradigm Shift, the program will feature Kwame Pienim, renowned economist, with Mark Bedu-Aboagye, CEO of Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Professor Godfred Bokpin, economist at University of Ghana Business School, Adobia Esiama Aboagye, Vice Chair, AGI Tema Branch. Moderator is Alfredo Kansi of Media General. Date is Wednesday, August 9, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. prompt at the Executive Theatre, TV3. Come and let's move Ghana forward together. Meanwhile, banking consultant and facilitator of the Thought Leadership Lecture Series, Dr. Kojo Aboagye Deborah, shared highlights of the program in an interview with 3 Business.
We can govern and manage the resources. The reality today is giving us a different, and we think we've got to a point where there's the need to assess these in a more detailed, and then whether it calls for a paradigm shift. And the paradigm shift means that there's the need to have a common agenda, the way things should be done, and a leader who can mobilize us to be able to create food, shelter, and clothing, and wealth, and reduce poverty. That is the essence of why we've chosen this. We've got to a point where there's a crossroad, given where we are, the present evidence. You see, we are looking at assessing past, present, and future. Past is giving us today's reality, and today's reality is calling for a new shift. And that new shift means that as the people of Ghana, we need to come to it with a common purpose. That common purpose is calling for a new agenda, and we expect advocacy spearheaded by Parliament.
And that's how we wrap up the business segment on Midday Live. My name is Menu Afo. Stay with us. We have more news from the world of sports after the break.
Are you ready to win solid cash every day with Cash Out? Be a proud winner of lots of cash simply by watching or listening to any of Media General stations. That's right, you are being rewarded for your loyalty. Tune in to all Media General brands. TV3, 3FM 92.7, Onia TV, Onia FM 95.1, all in Accra, Akuma FM 87.9 in Kumasi, and Connect FM 97.1 in Takoradi. To enter the Cash Out raffle on your favorite Media General station, just dial *439#. Follow the prompt and pick your favorite platform to enter. Voila! You are now eligible to become one of the 10 lucky winners of a cool cash prize. Remember, this is every day, all day on your favorite Media General station. Cash out and win big! This is in partnership with Radio Entertainment Limited. This promo is regulated by the National Lottery Authority on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey! What do you do with some cool $2,000? Okay. Here to Win game show is exactly what you need. It's the only game show where you are already rich before you begin to play. Every week, 2 lucky people stand the chance of winning money. All you have to do is go through some quizzes and fun games. Somebody from Peru is called Perusian. Whatever you say, you have to be proud because your family people are watching you. Somebody from Madagascar is called Malagasy. Correct!
Okay, let's go.
It's you that will tell me let's go. You are not even winning.
Okay. Hold the stand and jump fasting.
Amazing.
Jump go.
Ayikwe Ama. Be proud. First of all, is Ayikwe supposed to be a man or a woman? Put it on your forehead. Ayikwe. Be a part of this game show right here on TV3 and take home some cash. Come join us on Here to Win game show where you win it all. Hey, yeah, mama. Hey, mama. Hey, yeah, mama. Hey, mama. Here to Win.
Here to Win, premiering on Saturday, 12 August at 8 p.m. on TV3.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Sports News is up next. Oriku will bring us all the latest in the world of sport. Oriku, it's not so much of a good news for Africa, is it?
Yeah, I think last week we spoke about how we had 3 representatives in the knockout round for the first time, and unfortunately none of them are making it to the quarterfinals.
They're all coming home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Anyways, over to you.
And so we'll be getting updates on the final African team, that's Morocco, who are currently playing against France. But before we do that, Colombia set up a Women's World Cup quarterfinal against England with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Jamaica earlier today. And that means that they would be facing the European champions in the quarterfinals. But for Morocco, they are currently playing against France and are losing by 4-0. It was a poor start from the African country, which saw them concede 3 goals in the first quarter of the game before Le Sommer added a 4th in the second half to all by. He hoped the injury would not be a big issue for his £52 million striker. Chelsea host Liverpool in their Premier League opener on Sunday. Also, news just coming in is that Tuesday's UEFA Champions League qualifier between AEK Athens and Dinamo Zagreb has been postponed after a fan was stabbed to death in the Greek capital. The Greek supporter died following brawls between rival fans outside the AEK's Agia Stadium in a northern suburb of Athens on Monday evening. Police say 8 others were injured and 98 arrests have been made so far. UEFA had banned visiting supporters from both legs of the third-round qualifying over security concerns. Europe's football governing body said following the trouble and in consultation with the local authorities, the match had to be postponed. Now let's head to the transfer market, where Neymar has told Paris Saint-Germain that he wants to leave the club, according to reports in France. The club have not commented publicly on the matter, but the PA news agency understands the Brazil superstar, who is under contract until 2025, has yet to formally communicate his intention to leave the club's executives. It is unclear whether new Paris Saint-Germain coach Luis Enrique sees Neymar as part of his plans in any case, but reports coming in from France that they are resigned to either selling France striker Kylian Mbappe this summer or losing him for nothing next summer when he will be out of contract. Neymar was arguably the epitome of the old approach. That's PSG smashing their transfer record to sign him from Barcelona in 2017 for a world record fee of €222 million. It's also been reported that Neymar's father has come out to quash these reports, and so it would be interesting times for the Brazilian and Paris Saint-Germain heading into the new season. Well, that's how we'll be wrapping up the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Oriku Ampofo. Up next on the bulletin is Entertainment with Noella.
Well, let's not touch base with Adwa Noella for the latest in entertainment. Over to you, Adwa.
All right, let's get into the details of some entertainment news here on Midday Live. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the upcoming Musicians Union of Ghana Musica elections slated for today, Tuesday, the August 8th, 2023, have been placed on an interlocutory injunction by the Accra High Court. Now, the elections, which were to be conducted by the Electoral Commission of Ghana, have now been put on hold pending the resolution of the legal case. Now, the legal action was initiated by Dokwabla Seyinam Nyamadi and Frederick Van Dyke, both active members of Musica and plaintiffs in the case. In their petition, they sought an interlocutory injunction to halt the election process, naming Musica as the first defendant, by Osei Kufo known as Obo as the second defendant, and the Electoral Commission as the third defendant. Now, the crux of the plaintiff's argument revolves around allegations that the first and second defendants, Musica and Obo, along with their respective executives, have failed to adhere to the stipulations outlined in the Musica Constitution. Specifically, the plaintiffs assert that these parties have neglected their obligation to provide comprehensive financial accounts, a crucial requirement under the union's governing documents. Moreover, the plaintiffs contend that the absence of proper financial accounting renders the defendants ineligible to conduct the elections and subsequently transfer authority to a new executive. On the story and bring you more on that. But that's how we wrap up on the entertainment news segment here on Midday Live. My name is Noella Donko. International news is up next.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has expressed Washington's full support for the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS and its efforts to restore constitutional order in Niger following the recent military coup. ECOWAS had given the coup leaders in Niamey a 7-day deadline to step down or face military intervention, which expired on Sunday. On Monday, ECOWAS announced it would hold a summit in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, on Thursday to deliberate on the political situation and recent developments in Niger. Mr. Blinken told BBC's Focus on Africa in an interview that he had been in touch with Niger's deposed president, Mohamed Bazoum, saying it was crucial the democratically elected government be reinstated. He also accused Russia of taking advantage of the situation in Niger. Meanwhile, Niger junta leader General Abdulrahman Chiani has named a former finance minister as the new prime minister following the 26 July coup. Ali Mahaman Lamine Zain replaces Mahamudu Ohumodu, who was in Europe during the coup.
That's our package for you this afternoon, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com, and if you log onto the website at the moment, you'd see the latest news concerning Musica, the elections thrown into disarray as the court imposes an interlocutory injunction. There's also Alan is the right man for the NPP in 2024. That's coming from a supporter of his campaign, Alan Carlos Ahinkra. There's Fred Nyama also withdrawing from the NDC parliamentary race in the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency. There are a lot of these stories. There's also some sports, some entertainment, some international news, just name it. Visit our website, 3news.com, for the latest in every news relevant. Well, my name is Noble Crosby, and I would like to thank you so much for making time to watch the bulletin. We'll see you again some other time. Enjoy the afternoon. Bye-bye.